I'm Matt Bouchard with NAREIT here at the New York Hilton for REITWeek 2017, NAREIT's Investor Forum. Joining me today is Diane Morefield. She's the Chief Financial Officer with CyrusOne and also the chair of NAREIT's new Dividends Through Diversity initiative. Diane, thanks so much for joining us.
Matt, thank you for having me.
Now, can you start by describing what NAREIT's new Dividends Through Diversity initiative is all about?
It really is focused on advancing and promoting and mentoring women. The numbers speak for themselves, right? When you get to the C-level positions or boards of directors, the percent of women in those roles is very low, probably less than 10%. And so I think sometimes there has to be actually an active initiative to help promote change. And I think why it's so important is let's look at, women as decision makers. Women probably make up at least 50%, if not the majority, of decision makers for various decisions that affect the real estate industry. What apartment complex to rent in, what retail center to shop at, what hotel to stay in if you're traveling with your family or traveling for business. So, I think companies really miss out if they don't have at the leadership table women that are helping, discuss various strategy that affects real estate industry trends. Same with, the board of director tables where they help set strategies with management teams. So I think that alone, just recognizing that if companies embrace more women in those roles, I really believe that it will create and enhance shareholder value.
And Diane, in your opinion, how have you seen the role of women and other minority groups change within the commercial real estate industry in the past 5 to 10 years, and how does that compare to other industries?
Real estate in general is known to be a pretty male-dominated industry. And look, there's other industries that have that same, those same stats. I don't know which industries have done it better, but one example that I was just talking to somebody about the other day, the big four accounting/consulting firms, they probably over 25 years ago started concerted women's initiatives. I think Deloitte was the leader in that, but they all have them. And just the other day, someone was telling me that 2 of the big 4 firms have women CEOs. So think about that. They started these initiatives decades ago, and now 50% of the big 4 have women that are leading their firms. So I think that's pretty awesome.
And lastly, what do you think is necessary to significantly move the needle for women and minority groups within the real estate industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think, look, it's a combination of a lot of things. And you're probably aware of this initiative, which is a national, if not international one, which is the Lean In organization that Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, started a few years ago. And she wrote the book Lean In, which I did read after it came out. And I think she made a lot of interesting points on how do we change this sort of this somewhat bias that there aren't more women at the top. And first and foremost, she said women have to own their own careers. We have to, we're all free agents. So we have to own and manage our own careers, and that's where she gets the lean in. We got to lean into our careers and know what our goals are and really work hard to achieve them. But she equally importantly says men have to lean in. Men have to lean in and support the women in their organizations. And look, a lot of these male CEOs or other male leaders, they have daughters. I mean, I'm sure they want to see this change for their own, daughter's generation. Another example is, State Street, huge, obviously, money manager, came out a few months ago and basically made a very bold statement and said they would vote against the board slates of any public company board that has 0 women or minorities on their board. I mean, it takes things like that to help accelerate change.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Matt. It was great.
For more from REITweek 2017 and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.